Advocate Andrea Johnson, head of the National Prosecuting Authority's Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, IDAC, told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that she received a direct death threat following IDAC's arrest of SAP's crime intelligence head Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo and several co-accused. She said the threat had both personal and professional consequences. She contradicted what she said in the Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament November on 2025, where she said she received those threats before the arrest of General Khumalo.
You mentioned earlier on that you received threats. I think this was shortly after General Khumalo's arrest. Did you report this? Did you hand in your phone? Did you get to the bottom of these threats?
The threats came well before the arrest of General Khumalo. The matter was escalated, yes, to the Risk and Security Division of the NPA. The message was forwarded to them. It was just one, a WhatsApp that I received on my phone. I don't use, so whilst I have 2 cell phones, the NPA is not responsible for my phones. I don't claim anything from the NPA. I have my 2 phones on my contract, although I do use them for official purposes. The message was escalated. It was shared with Risk and Security. They then took steps to ensure that, that I was taken care of in terms of various safety provisions.
All right, but
what we did do as IDAC, we first wanted to see if we can find out the holder of the number, and it is what is colloquially called a burner phone. It had no owner. So there was nothing to be able to report to the police, but I reported it internally to our Risk and Security. They also did due diligence, Honorable Member, and were unable to trace that number.
All right, were you not meant to actually hand in your phone so that it can be properly downloaded? To also verify the authenticity of that message. I know I had something similar, and even though they received the message and the number, it was important for them to actually take the phone in to also verify that I probably didn't send it to myself, the origination. So did that happen?
They did view my phone, and they also took a screen grab of the phone. It was just one message, and you could see the number from which it was sent, and that it was sent to me. It is time-stamped. It is a very specific message, and they had sight of the phone. There was no need to download it. They had sight of the phone and of the message. It was one message.
I just find that really strange that these processes vary, because as I know, your phone must be downloaded, it needs to be booked in, and the message, and it needs to be sort of cleared in that way. But anyway, if that's the way they did it on your phone, then that's fine.
Johnson said the arrests, carried out in June 2025, related to charges involving alleged irregular appointments, including that of Brigadier Dineo Mokwil, and the alleged misuse of Secret Service funds. She told the Commission that the threatening message named her and several IDAC colleagues, including Shabalala, Paramal, Padayaki, and Bello Chun. According to Johnson, the threat was the first direct death threat she had received during her prosecutorial career and had affected her household. She said the National Prosecuting Authority implemented security measures following the incident. Khumalo and other accused, including Nozifo Madando, deny the charges and have claimed the prosecution is politically motivated. Johnson said the matter forms part of the broader issues being examined by the Madlanga Commission, which is investigating allegations of criminality, political interference, and corruption in the criminal justice system. She defended IDAC's independence and process-driven approach, saying the unit remains committed to pursuing corruption cases despite the risks faced by investigators.
Paragraph 37. I cannot end this affidavit without pointing out the adverse effects that I, personally, have had to endure since the arrest immediately just before the arrest of Lieutenant General Khumalo and co-accused was effected before June 2025, before 26 June 2025.
May I suggest, I think
we have a correction.
Yes.
There's a typo. Have had to endure since the arrest.
I think it's all since.
Had to
not
endure
of.
Since the arrest of. Have had to endure since the arrest of.
Since the arrest or since immediately just before the arrest.
Yes.
So it makes sense to me when I replace the of with all.
Yes.
I think that was what was intended.
Correct.
Thank you.
was affected before 26 June. I received a death threat directly on my cell phone. It read, Mrs. IDAC, you and your guy Shabalala, Perumal, Padiachi, and Belochan have went too far. You're going to wish you did not. I think everyone that has the document can read that word.
Yes.
With us, get body bags ready, close quote. 38. In my long career as a prosecutor, this is the first time that I received a death threat. The NPA has put several measures in place to secure myself and other colleagues.
Before you move from that topic, this sounds like a serious threat. Did you, or by you I mean IDAC, did you cause for the matter to be investigated to get to the bottom of this threat? I do appreciate that measures have been put in place to secure your safety and the safety of your colleagues, but I'm more interested in investigating the matter and finding the source of the threat. Were such steps taken? Are you aware?
The matter was escalated to the Risk and Security Division of the NPA. They did follow up on that message. It was one of those phones that didn't have a registered SIM card, so it sent a message and you couldn't then go ahead and trace the user of the telephone.
The so-called burner phones.
That is correct, Commissioner. I am aware, however, Commissioner, that later on, they were able to determine where a group from whom it might have come. And I'm prepared to rather write that down because it might be a person who's also a subject at the Commission. Also what I did not put in the affidavit is, at the time, it didn't seem related, but what had happened is someone accosted my daughter and I at our gate, and we had lived there for almost 20 years, and this had happened for the first time 4 days before. And I think the only reason it alarmed me was when the person walked up to the gate, he spoke to me immediately in Zulu. I mean, I'm not sure on the basis of what, except for you would have had to know who I am. And the words that followed sort of just gave it away. And when I got this message later in the week, it did make sense. Because when the person approached the gate, I asked my daughter to stand back. And from where I was, I said in English, "Can I help?" And the person replied in Zulu, "Ngidinga umeli, ukona umeli kule strat." And I replied in English, "I'm so sorry, I don't know what you are saying." And then he said in English, "I want a lawyer." And it's a fully residential area, but the way he was dressed, he walked off and he went down the road, stood on the corner of the road, and then you could see him making a call. And so we decided to just wait to be safe till he left. So, and then this came after, but that was the sequence of those events, yes.
So where we land is the matter at least is still under investigation.
Simply
you haven't given up on the threat somehow.
We haven't, but the measures had been put in place to take care of me and my family, my colleagues, that were mentioned in these. One is your guy Chabalala is a prosecutor. Perumal, Padiachi, and Belochan are investigators.
Okay. Thank you. That then leads us to your paragraphs 39 to 42.
To date, there have been other incidents that have affirmed the validity of these threats, more especially to me. It has affected my entire household, paragraph 40. 41, I'm hoping that this affidavit and the attachments to it, which I give to the Commission, will provide better insight into the workings of IDAC, the commitment of its people, and the fact that we are process-driven and consistent in our approach on all matters. 42, should I be required to answer questions flowing from this affidavit and other matters in respect of which it has been determined that I would be of assistance to the Commission, subject to timeous notice and the right to legal representation, I would be willing to make myself available for such.
Before we leave this statement, two things, starting with that very paragraph you've just read into the record. Where you state, should you be required to answer questions flowing from this affidavit and other matters in respect of which it has been determined that I would be of assistance to the Commission, subject to timeous notice and the right of legal representation, I would be willing to make myself available for such. My first question, you appear here today with legal representation, don't you?
Correct.
You have been provided with notice. It might be debatable whether timeous or not, but notice has been provided to you. Different notices have been provided to you regarding matters flowing from your statement.
That's correct.
Are you then willing, as of today, to provide answers to these questions? Are we at the point where you are now willing to provide answers? You're not going to require of us to expect you to come back at a later date to deal with other questions?
Commissioners, I would like to deal with whatever I can whilst I am here.